Hi, everyone, and welcome to Rising Stories. In this podcast, I sit down with an entrepreneur, a small business owner, or an author, and we talk about everything under the sun. We talk about the ins and outs, our everyday struggles, what it takes to launch a business, what it takes to keep a business going, and everything else, all the other things that we do in life. I know you're going to enjoy each and every interview, so please continue to listen, subscribe, hit the subscribe button. If you like it, please give me some stars over at iTunes and leave a review. I would love that, and I will mention your name on the air if you do. We would love to hear from you. Today's guest is Megan Card. She is a designer and artist for Grassmere Lane. We talk about all kinds of things. We talk about how she started her business with just a Facebook page. We talk about her definition of a legitimate business, which I absolutely love, and about how she works through her diagnosis of fibromyalgia. I know you're going to really enjoy listening to Megan. So here is my conversation with Megan Card.
Well, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited, and I have enjoyed looking at your Etsy page and your Facebook page, and you just make the most beautiful artwork with wood and lettering, and it is so cute. I just love it. So tell us about yourself. I know some people listening will know exactly who you are, and some people will be like, I don't know who she is. So tell us about Megan Card.
Oh, well, I am a wife and mother of two boys, and we currently reside in Texas and, or DFW area. And let's see, I have been a stay-at-home mom, a working mom, and now a work-from-home mom. And I will say they are all hard. All of them. Every single one of them are hard in their own ways.
That is so true.
Yes. So I don't know why we have those mom wars because, like this one's harder than this one. They're all hard. They just are.
You are right. They are all hard. And they each have their own challenges.
Yes. And unique challenges too. So yes. So now I am a work from home mom. Just started our business, Grassmere Lane, in December. And it has really taken off better than I ever expected.
Wow.
We were not prepared for the kind of growth that we've had over the last couple of months. We honestly thought we were just going to have a few orders just to kind of get through Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And it's turned into a full-time job.
Wow. Now, when did you start this? You said last year?
Yeah, December. I honestly, some friends have been begging me to make signs for them for Christmas. And I was like, okay, fine. It'll help out with some Christmas money to get the kids some extra gifts, things like that.
Yeah.
And,
I'll just throw it up on Etsy. No big deal.
Yeah. Well, actually, I didn't even have the Etsy page up yet. I was literally just doing it through Facebook.
Through your page? Just through your Facebook page.
Just through my Facebook page. And so most of my December orders were local. There are a lot of family and friends, although some of them weren't local.
Mm-hmm.
But through online friends that we've made.
Yes.
Over the last year, a lot of them ordered as well. So, I was swamped. I was trying to complete at least 1 or 2 orders a day, which, these things take a lot of time to make.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was able to do that was insane.
Wow. So you were working hard to get all of that out. And, that goes to show, and I think that it's an encouragement to people who they're thinking, to do my business, I have to have all these ducks in a row, and I have to, I work with entrepreneurs and help launch them. And I say, you don't have to have this huge, Etsy presence or a huge, any kind of presence, as long as you're making good quality things or you've got a great service, and you can make a great, business out of, like you said, just your Facebook page.
Yeah. So now they were like, you really need an Etsy shop. So I scrambled, and I think it was a couple of days after Christmas, I got the Etsy shop working or up and running. And so, yes, it's been crazy.
Wow. That is crazy. So what led you to like start doing this type of woodwork?
Honestly, when we moved from East Texas back to the DFW area, that's where my husband and I grew up. I wanted to redecorate our apartment. We were waiting. We're in transition, trying to figure out where his business will stay, if it'll stay here or not. So we got an apartment just until we were sure before buying a house. And I wanted to redecorate, but I didn't want to spend all of the money redecorating.
Yeah.
And I love Fixer Upper, like Chip and Joanna Gaines. Love them. They're probably the biggest inspiration when it comes to my designs. And so I just kind of started playing around with my own signs for my own house. And so friends and family would come over like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. You have to make these. And I was like, no, I don't know. I don't know if I want to, go through all that pressure, because that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
To put your art out there and to be open to critique sometimes. And so I was like, I don't know. So for 2 years, I've literally had people begging me to make a business out of this. And finally I was like, what the heck? So I did.
Yeah. I mean, it's so fun to hear necessity was the mother of invention for you.
Yes.
Just like a lot of people that invent things, and that you were wanting to not spend a whole lot of money, but make something. And then from that, did you find that your creativity, and you grew as an artist? Because I've seen your work and it's great. And so you've got to have felt good about, wow, your artistic growth in that.
Yes, absolutely. Because I have no formal artistic background. Like I've never taken an art class. I don't know, I just kind of played around with it. And I've noticed even some of my very original designs, like I've improved even since then as an artist. Some of my very first work I've scrapped and I've redone, even in my own house, because I like it better now.
Yeah.
So it's been fun to grow as an artist, even in the last few months.
Wow.
It's a challenge, but it's a lot of fun too.
I bet. And so tell me what, how do you keep up with the orders? Like, how do you, because have you hired someone yet, or you're just?
No, we're not at the point of hiring someone yet, although it would be really helpful just to keep up with the demand. Right now, my husband is pretty much my business partner as well. So he has a full-time job with Frito-Lay. And he comes home and then he helps me run Grassmere Lane. Okay. So right now we have spreadsheets that an invoice app, Wave. It's an invoice app that helps us keep track of accounting and orders and things like that. So right now that's what we're doing. So I have to schedule time throughout the day to work on the business side and then also work on the creative side, which is something I've had to learn to do because I just enjoy the creative side a lot more. Yes. But I've had to learn how to be a businesswoman as well, and an entrepreneur and a CEO. And
right, isn't that
I don't know what I'm doing.
I know none of us do. A lot of like I said, I work with entrepreneurs, and a lot of people, we're people like you, we're artists, or we have a craft, or we have a service that we provide, or a skill. In my case, I'm, coaching people. And so, you don't realize how much goes into running a business, and you're just surprised by, that was one of my questions to you. Like, what's the most surprising thing about running your business or starting Grassmere Lane for you? Yes.
Learning the business aspect, learning how to do quarterly taxes for a business. I've never had to do that before. So I'm having to do that. Invoices. We didn't start out doing invoices. It was very kind of informal, like, hey, this is kind of what I want. This is what I'm looking for. Can you do it? Yeah, of course. To where now I have to actually do a business invoice and send that out. It helps just keep track of things better. It's more professional. It helps with my branding and things like that. Never would have thought that I needed that, but I do, and learning that along the way. And I've had the best customers. I really, really have people that don't even know me, and just realizing, hey, I'm new at this. I'm still learning the ropes, and giving me so much grace as I sometimes stumble through this new business. But they've been amazing. I tell people all the time, I have the best customers in the world. They are a joy to work with, and I just love it.
And do you find that you have repeat customers? Because I'm sure you're creating new things. Like I think I've seen your change just since I met you a year ago. It seems like you've had some things, or even since I guess December or whatever when you started. But do you find that you've got like, oh gosh, I want that one too?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. In fact, we have like a Facebook giveaway going on right now that ends tomorrow morning. And I've had customers that were some of my very first customers. You're like, oh my goodness, I have to get this too. And so they put it on their wish list, or, we talk about a payment plan or something like that.
Yeah.
And, we've already gotten some repeat customers. Then I have some potential customers that are already making lists of things that they want, and, just working out. Like, again, like sometimes you have to save up for some of the bigger statement pieces, which surprised me the most. I thought my smaller pieces would be my best sellers, but my statement pieces are. And so they are a little bit more pricey, especially to ship them out all over the United States. And we do ship out of the country as well. So, sometimes you have to save up for those.
Yeah.
So that was surprising too.
So tell me what... with all that you've got going on, and you're a wife and a mother, so tell me what a day in the life of Megan Card, the entrepreneur, businesswoman, artist, what does that look like for you?
Oh goodness. It has evolved over the last couple of months. I get up around 5 a.m. I have to schedule at least about an hour to myself, do my quiet time, just rest. Sometimes I do like relaxation or meditation exercises just to kind of de-stress. Then my kids get up. I get, my boys ready for school, and get them ready for their day, get them off. I come home, work out. I'm realizing more and more. I mean, I know working out's important, but I never would have thought that painting wood signs was a physically demanding job. But it is.
Yeah, I bet.
So I'm learning just the importance of keeping my body healthy. Because if, I'm pretty much a one-woman show for the most part. So if I don't take care of my own body, if I get sick, then I'm out of orders, or I delay in orders, or, something like that. So.
And what do you do when you go work out?
I usually right now I'm just working out at home. It's just, quicker just to pop in, like a Beachbody, DVD or a video. Okay. I'm doing PiYo right now.
What is that? PiYo?
PiYo. It's a combination of like yoga and Pilates, and, Shailene, I think that's how she says it. Shailene Johnson is the instructor. She's great.
PiYo. Okay. Yeah. And so did you get DVDs?
Yeah, I got through beachbody.com. I think you can find Beachbody coaches online, I'm sure if you just put on Facebook, you'll get a flood of people that are, oh yeah, I'm a Beachbody coach.
I've never heard of PiYo. How do you spell that? Is it P-I-L-O?
It's actually P-I-Y-O.
Okay.
PiYo.
I'm going to have to look that up, and of course I'll put it in the show notes, because I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's great because it's low impact but high intensity, and it's pretty effective.
Oh, that sounds good.
So for those who can't do a lot of like running or high intense, like, I don't know, sometimes if you've got issues with your joints or whatever, right. It's a great one to start off with. For me, being in an apartment, I can't jump around a lot. So that's why I selected it, because it's, it doesn't disturb my neighbors.
So it's low impact and Pilates and yoga. That's really neat.
Yeah. It's a mix of Pilates and yoga. And I think she's got some of her own special PiYo moves, or So
now, are your kids in school yet? Are they older?
Yes, they're older. They're in elementary school. So I have from 8 to 2 o'clock, basically available to
Mm-hmm.
do nothing but work,
Yeah.
work on orders and stuff. And
And that
then
time goes by so fast, doesn't
it
it?
does. Oh my gosh, it does.
Because
And,
I had the same schedule when I started my business. My son
mhm,
from his was from 7, which was hard because I couldn't do as much as I wanted to in the morning. But
right.
his was from 7. He had to be there at 7 to about 2:30. But you kind of have to get in that hookup line.
Yes.
And
And I have to
oh
get
my
there almost an
gosh,
hour early because otherwise the line goes out onto the, we've got a really busy street that the school's off of. And I just don't like sitting and waiting for my kids on a really, really busy intersection.
hmm
So,
hmm
I mean, yeah, like I got to sit in the car for an hour.
right, right. The ladies at my son's old school would they would get there. If they got out at 2:30, they would arrive at 1 and park their
Oh
cars.
my goodness.
And there was a park or like a nice area, and they would just park their cars and go walk like the
The
around the
track.
park, around the
Oh,
track,
that's
and
cool.
then they would come back. I would see them. I'm like, gosh, they sure are here early. And
Yeah.
I was like, how can I not? Why can I not beat them to the front of the line? Not that it wasn't like I always thought that's so crazy to get there so early. I mean, it's okay for your kid to wait, a couple of
Yeah.
minutes or whatever, but if you have like an appointment or an orthodontist
Mm-hmm.
appointment or something, it's like you've got to get there or you're waiting forever in
Yep.
traffic. And so
Yes.
I'm there with you. So I would, and so I bet you do a lot of stuff on,
Mm-hmm.
right? Are you like me,
Yes.
where it's like you're sitting in the hookup line and you're like uh, doing
Yeah, and like I
answering
could be
emails?
yes, yeah, I'm doing social media stuff or answering custom order questions or, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I take some time to read, um, or at least I try to. I get started and then usually I get interrupted, but I try to do something for myself while I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I've taken a nap before.
Yes.
Because it's busy. I'm super busy right now. So, yes, I have fallen asleep in the hookup line before.
I get that. Yeah, I get that. I don't know if I ever, because I'm not a big napper. Like, are
Hmm.
you a napper? Do you nap? Do you like to nap?
I like to, but I usually don't get a
Yeah.
chance to
And see,
nap.
I don't stay up late. I'm not a late night person.
Hmm.
So, and I do get up early. So I don't nap very easily unless I'm deficient, unless something
Yes.
happened and I had to
Hmm.
stay up or somebody was
Right.
sick or whatever. And then, or Sunday afternoon, that just seems to be the nap day. But,
Yes, I love Sunday afternoon
otherwise
naps.
yeah, otherwise I'm like wide awake and trying to get everything done.
Hmm.
But so so you have from 10 to 8 to 2 to get a
Hmm.
lot of stuff done.
Yes.
And
And then I
so,
pick up the kids and then come home, help them with homework, get dinner ready. I have to schedule time with my family. Otherwise, I could
mhm.
easily get sucked into, oh, I've got this to do or I've got that to do. So I have to schedule that into my day. And then after that's over, my husband and I get to working on orders.
Wow. Is it
Yeah.
good? How's it working together?
It's great. I couldn't do it without my husband. I really
Hmm
couldn't. So he builds most of the orders. I mean, I know how to do it, but
hmm
it's a lot smoother when he builds the orders, like from the ground up, whatever
Wow.
size we need. And then I'm purely responsible for whatever art is put on that pallet.
hmm hmm
So, I mean, my oldest son even is learning how to put pallets together. He
That's
loves it.
great.
Yeah, he thinks it's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. Are you paying him?
No, just some lots of hugs and kisses, but
He'll get when he gets older. He'll be like, "Wait a minute! I think you need to
yes,
pay me."
exactly. Well, he's only 9, so he just thinks it's really cool to use, like the staple gun or, or
Yeah.
the wood glue. He thinks it's really cool. And he's really good at staining wood.
Oh, that's good because
Hmm.
they have smaller hands, so they could probably
Yeah, he's
really,
really good at
yeah.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's neat. That is
Hmm.
really cool. So earlier we talked about how moms that work, moms
Hmm.
that stay home
Hmm.
and don't work out of the home, and stay at home moms who work at home. And you were saying how they're all challenging and they're all
Yes.
hard.
Yes.
Tell me your experience from all of those perspectives. Have you done every one of those?
I have done every single one of them. Mm-hmm. I first started out, I stayed home with my oldest for until he was in preschool. And then our youngest came along. I stayed strictly home with them, and then just needed to go back to work just to help out with the family finances and stuff like that. So then I was a working mom. I worked at a church. And so I cried the first day that I dropped my baby off with someone else, because it was just, I think he was like 6 months old. My youngest was 6 months old, and my oldest was in preschool. And, I just felt like I was going to miss everything. And, fretting about what if he says another word and I'm not there to hear it first, or he takes his first steps, or he starts crawling. I mean, all of those things, it's total mom guilt. And, so being away from my babies and being a working mom was really hard. Mainly just dealing with that mom guilt. Like, should I be doing this? Should I sacrifice and just stay home? But we really, really needed the extra income at the time. Mm-hmm. And then
that is so hard, because you have that bond that's a little bit different than a husband and child bond. I don't care what anybody says, but there's a difference.
It's different. Mm-hmm. It's very different. So then I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia back in 2010, I believe. So it's been almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years later this fall. Actually, no, I just hit the 6-year mark. It was in January, actually. I'm getting all my years mixed up. It just seems like I've had it forever.
Wow. How do you deal with that on an ongoing basis?
Well,
your energy
it has kind of evolved. I mean, I had to leave my job when I was first diagnosed with it, because I never knew when my flares were coming, and I never knew how long or how intense they would be. And even working at a church, employers, they want to make sure that you're dependable and reliable, and I totally understand that. So I had to leave. I had to quit, and it was a really sad time. Because I loved my job. I loved working. I worked for the student ministry at the time, and I loved the teens, and I loved what I did. But I had to take care of myself. Yeah. And that time we were still going to tons of doctors, taking tons of tests.
Because they didn't know what it was. You didn't know what it was.
No, nobody knew what it was.
And it's so misdiagnosed.
It is. Even though it's been around for a while, a lot of doctors are just now getting on board that their patients aren't making it up, that it's not just in their head. I had one doctor basically tell me I needed to go see a psychologist or be, admitted into a psych ward, because she thought I was lying. And, so just dealing with that pressure alone.
So is there like a test? How do you
They're developing one, actually, a blood test right now. How they diagnose it currently, and it depends on who you see. I saw a specialist. He was in Shreveport, Louisiana, so I had to drive all the way to Shreveport just to go see him, to find that specialist. And he was a rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia specialist, and they just ran all sorts of tests on me. And it was kind of like a trial and error, or, if I didn't fit these symptoms, it's just like kind of crossing out, process by elimination, really, and just to see what symptoms fit, what symptoms didn't fit. And I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So, I'm doing so much better now. Some people are lucky and they're able to manage their symptoms, and mine, I have not. I almost went a whole year without a flare-up, but I did have a flare-up a couple of months ago, but it was not a bad one, and it only took me about a day to recover.
Describe a flare-up. What does that look like?
It's different for every fibromyalgia patient, and it's different for me each time. Sometimes they're really painful, like really, really painful, and the pain travels
like your whole body.
Parts, to different parts of your body. So my main pain areas, I guess you could say, where like my neck and my shoulders, my arms, even in my fingers, and they're discovering that they think that it originates in your cells in your fingers and your blood capillaries in your fingers and your toes. I'm still learning a lot about that, so I'm not an expert. I'm not going to pretend to be, but they're thinking that it originates in your hands.
And how do you feel? Do you feel like you can, so you can't function when that
No,
flare up
when I
hits?
have a flare up, I'm pretty much out of commission. Because it feels like I've never had acupuncture, but I think it's probably the closest thing I could describe it as, is like thousands of tiny knives that are just stabbing all over your body, and it travels. It's really, really painful. The fatigue is horrible. The fatigue was almost as bad as the pain.
Does that come together, the fatigue and the pain?
Mm-hmm. And
so
sometimes
you're just
it's
down.
different. Yeah, sometimes I'm just out. Sometimes it's hard to even get out of bed. But at the same time, you don't want to be in bed, because even the touch of the sheet, you're sensitive to a lot of different pressure points and touch. So even just laying in bed and the pressure of the sheet being on you hurts. But it's weird, because then you have like insomnia, so you can't sleep. And it's just a whole cycle. So because you can't sleep, like you're stressed and you're exhausted, so it causes the flare it's a cycle to continue. Emotional stress can cause a flare up. Barometric pressure changes. So being in Texas, we have a lot of thunderstorms in the spring. So a lot of times in the spring, I would have continual flare-ups, and they would last for a couple of days to a couple of months in the beginning. But I've just been very fortunate lately to have somehow figured out how to manage it to where I have not had a flare-up in a long time. So I guess I've been very fortunate.
That is good. Yeah. So you juggle that too, and so you kind of have to be aware that if that happens, you're just down, and you have to take care of yourself. And
yes, absolutely.
So you're forced to take care of yourself in a way, whereas the rest of us kind of probably work ourselves, and just too much. But you've got a little trigger that says you're done for the day, or you're
done. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's another reason why I decided to work from home, going back to your original question, because, we still kind of I needed to work somehow, some way. So I've dabbled in lots of different things over the years, and different MLMs or work from home opportunities, and nothing ever really stuck. Somebody once told me, and I wish I remembered who it was, because they were so wise, but they said, find an industry that you love and you're passionate about, but that also loves you back. And so for a long time, I had a lot of different passions and a lot of different industries that I wanted to work in, even from home, but they didn't love me back. Hardly made any dent. I felt like I was actually spending more trying to be in business than I was actually making. So this has been completely different for me. I finally found something that has loved me back.
I love that.
Well,
I love that saying.
Yeah.
Find an industry that you love and that loves you back. Because that's so true, because you can just pour into something, either, something that everyone else is doing that says, this is how you make money, but you may love it.
Exactly.
And then it might love you back for a little while, but it's not going to love you back forever. And I feel like with your things, I feel like you're going to, and you may know this already in your soul, that you're going to evolve as an artist, even more so from doing what you're doing now.
Exactly.
Who knows what comes next for Megan, right?
I know. I don't know, but it's really exciting.
Yeah. And so, I love that you're saying it loves me back, and so it's also in a way a little bit easier to love it. You love it, but then
it's easy to love it even more when it's loving you back.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's not just a hobby. I'm actually making, an income, out of this. And so that's when it becomes like a legitimate business.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So, and I was going to ask you, like, what the best piece of business advice that you've ever gotten.
I think it would be that one.
That one. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. That's a really
absolutely.
good one for a lot of people. I think that, like you said, we love things that don't love us back, and then we just keep pouring money into it. And it's
Yes.
like, you know what, if you're not happy and you're struggling, and it's a different struggle, as you probably
Right.
know,
Right.
with struggling to do the things, not knowing how to do the business end of some things that we have to deal with as entrepreneurs and small business owners. That's different than you're pouring into stuff and it's just you're not getting any traction.
Yes.
And that's a big word I use with my clients. It's like, if you're not getting any traction with, it's kind of like you're just spinning your wheels rather than those wheels are grasping and you're moving forward into, in with your business, and it's loving you back, and you're gaining momentum. So,
Yes,
which is what's
yes.
happening with you, which is really cool. So tell me, and you mentioned something already, but what is your favorite, like either a business app or like besides Facebook, because that's our favorite app, right? We love our Facebook app.
Yes, Facebook.
Yeah, and our Messenger app. I guess that's another one.
Yes.
But what else what's your favorite app, either business or fun app?
I've had Instagram for a while, for a personal account. And then when, I did do some blogging for a while, so I'm, I was like, I need to do it for my business too. And it's just taken me a while to get all of my social media outlets up and running, because I've been so busy with the, actually making the product for my business. That, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough content to be able to share on Instagram, because that's important too. I didn't want to just have it out there and have nothing to share. So I love Instagram. Instagram's so much fun. It's a fun way to share my product with people and then connect in a fun, personal way. It's a little bit more unique than Facebook, although I love Facebook a lot. A lot of my customers on Facebook, but Instagram is a great way to find new ones.
It is good, and you now they have Instagram. Well, it was bought out by Facebook, I think. So now you can have those two accounts.
Yes.
You can have your personal account and you can have your business account.
Yep.
But now you've got the whole algorithm. I don't know when this podcast is going to be released, but it might be old news by that time. But you've got the whole algorithms happening with, you've got to follow people, and not just automatically going to come up on your feed with Instagram, which is a bummer. But I do love that you can switch back and forth if you need to.
Yes, absolutely. Although right now there's like a glitch in mine and it won't let me log out of my business account to my personal. So I've been trying to get a hold of them to be able to do that. Right now I'm stuck. It won't even give me an option to log out, and I can't switch over to my personal.
Way.
So if you see me commenting a lot from Grassmere Lane, it's because I can't
can't log. You're stuck with Grassmere. Maybe it's a sign. Just keep Grassmere Lane.
Maybe so.
It's a sign.
Maybe.
So so we talked about your day and we talked about app and business. Now tell me, like, personally, what are 3 things that you're absolutely loving that you just like, oh my gosh, I got to tell my friends? It could be like something as simple as a fun nail polish, or
oh goodness, I haven't had time to like paint my nails or any, and plus with working with wood and paint, like it would chip off like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
But I do love nail polish. Pretty much any nail polish color. Let's see. I love that it's spring right now. I know that's probably silly, but I love that I hate daylight savings time with a passion. Hate it. Especially having little kids. I think all parents can attest to that. Daylight savings time in the spring is just a bear. But I love having extra daylight hours because I can send them outside and they can go play and run around and get all their energy out. So I love that spring is here and they're not cooped up inside all the time, and the weather's getting nicer and warmer. And
Yeah, you get that extra time, especially after school. They
yes.
can
Uh-huh.
enjoy the weather.
Having boys especially, they are rowdy and they need to run out that
They
energy.
need to get that energy out. There are some kids that just need to get that energy
Yes.
out, and they've been
Yes.
sitting in their desk all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yes. Let's see, what else am I loving? I love, I don't know, I've been loving the color, like the slate blue, um, right now. And so
that's a
I'm
nice color.
actually working on a couple of new designs for a retreat, a women's retreat that I'm going to be a part of in April. And it has that color in it. I just love it. It
I
looks so
love that
pretty.
color.
So pretty. So I'm going to have to wear, and they're exclusive designs for just that retreat. So I'm going to have to find some other new ways to incorporate that color, because
Yeah.
I just love it. And it looks so good with just even the grays and sometimes even the darker wood, the dark walnut stain. So I don't know. I'm going to have to find some new designs to use that color with, because it's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
And do you do it? Is that the paint that's going on the wood?
And some of them, yes, it's kind of the background color of the
Mm-hmm.
wood. But I have a couple of ideas. I may use it as like the text color.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends, and also depends on the customer. Sometimes they want like specific colors.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's your biggest piece how big is your biggest piece that you
How
have?
big is my biggest piece? Let's see. The biggest piece currently is, I want to say 24 inches by 22 inches.
Okay.
Right now. And so, I do have one, I can't remember how wide it is, or how wide it is, but it's long. It's almost as long as my kitchen table. It's at least 48 inches, maybe
Wow.
60. So, I want to say, I do have one that's a 10 by 60 that
Okay.
I'm working on currently. It's a new one. It'll hopefully, fingers crossed, be finished and ready to be put on my Etsy site by the end of the weekend. So,
Wow. Do you get
yeah.
a lot more? Do you get more on Etsy, orders from Etsy, or do you get more orders from your Grassmere Lane?
At first I got more on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
A ton of orders on Facebook. But now that I think it's kind of like Facebook and Instagram, there is a certain algorithm even on Etsy, and you get more traffic to your site with the more sales that you have, the more favorites, and the more pieces you have in your shop. So you kind of have to fight for that space to be seen. And so now that I have more sales, more admirers, more people favoriting my pieces, I am getting more and more orders from Etsy. But I just, I wish I could kind of combine the two, at least as from like a knowledge database for my customers' sake, because it only says that I've had like 13 orders on Etsy. And I'm like, it's not true. I've done hundreds of orders. Most of them have been through Facebook right now, but I wish there was a way that I could let my customers on Etsy know that I have been doing this, a little bit more than 13 times.
Yeah. Does Etsy let you, so you have to like it. So that's good to like it. That's good to know, to help you out. And then is it also, can you also share on a Facebook page or on a Facebook, my Facebook page, like share a Etsy account? Does that make sense?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can.
So there's a share button on there. I haven't really
there
looked.
is. When you go onto Etsy and you click on any of the listings that are on there, at the bottom of the page, I believe, because my dashboard looks different than just an Etsy account going, and looking at my stuff. But I believe it's at the bottom of the page, and there's some share buttons, and you can share it on Facebook, you can share it on Twitter, and you can share it on Pinterest. I wish that there was an Instagram button right now, because I get more traffic. I'm getting more and more traffic from Instagram, but they don't have that yet. And I don't know if they will or if that's coming, but it would be great if they did. But right now you can share it on those 3 social media sites. So I can share it to my, directly from Etsy to my own Facebook or my own Twitter accounts, or my Pinterest accounts. That's one way to help increase traffic as well. But yeah, admiring my shop is what they call it on Etsy. But it just means that you're following it and you'll get updates. Like anytime I put a new piece of artwork in there, it'll automatically tell you, hey, Grassmere Lane has a new item, go check it out.
Oh, no way. I didn't know you could do
Yes.
that.
Oh, absolutely. And it's one for my customers. I try to encourage them to do that first, because even with Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, because of all these algorithm changes, you're going to miss out on stuff. Like it's just inevitable. That's unfortunately the way they're running social media. So if they follow me on Etsy, they are guaranteed to not miss anything that I've put on there.
That you put on there. And you put all your stuff on Etsy.
Yes. I put everything up on all of my social media sites. So you should be able to see it somewhere, but to be guaranteed that you're not going to miss a new design, I would follow Etsy for sure.
Well, that's good to know. Okay, what's your third thing?
My third thing.
It could be like a TV show. It could be, I know we talked about that on our group.
See. TV show. My husband and I just watched, well, we finished it a while ago, but we watch the reruns all the time. But Jane the Virgin on Netflix. I don't know if you've heard that.
I have heard of it, but I've not.
It's hilarious. It's so funny.
The name sounds hilarious. I think I might have seen one episode. He's Hispanic and...
Yes. It's almost like they're modeling it off of a telenovela, and
that's hilarious.
Hysterical. It's so funny. So we've been watching like reruns of that. I got him to watch, because I made a comment the other day. I was like, because I'm the only girl in our family, and I was like, I want to watch some girly shows.
Yeah.
I'm always watching, Transformers or Star Wars or just whatever. My husband wants to watch sports, whatever. I was like, I want to watch something girly. And so I got him to watch Gilmore Girls with me. So we finished Gilmore, like the whole season.
You did the whole
series.
season.
Yeah, the whole series.
And isn't it coming back? Like there's
it is,
the new one.
Yeah, they're doing a new one.
I need to catch up. I have not finished watching. I think I might have gone through the first season, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know if it's my cup of tea.
It gets better. It does get better. Mm-hmm. But except for the last season, the writer, the creator of the show, basically, she wasn't on. I don't know what happened, if it was a network thing or if she just didn't want to write. I don't really know the story, but she didn't write for the show the last season. So it was just off a little bit. Like, it was still good, but it was just different. So, it didn't end, I think, the way that she would have ended the series. Okay. So that's why they're doing the four new episodes that are a little bit longer. It's just 4, and I think they're like almost like little mini series each. I think they're called seasons. So there's going to be one called fall, winter, spring, and summer.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure what the plot line is going to be. I'm really intrigued, but it's supposed to be really good. I'm really excited.
If I started like how many seasons are there? You're saying
I think there's 6.
6 seasons?
I think. I might be wrong, but
if I started in season 4, would that be okay? Like, would I be totally lost?
You might be a little lost, but it's doable.
It's
totally doable.
I may do that because I really don't have time to do all of them, but I want to catch up with everybody.
Yeah.
But I might dabble a little here and there and kind of see if I can catch up the first 3 seasons, but I might start at 4 and, binge on those and then get ready for it. Okay. One last question before we go. So what are you reading? What book are you reading right now?
Nothing currently.
Okay.
Because I've just been so busy. I would like to be reading currently, but I'm not. I'm getting ready to read an advanced reader copy of Brandon Hatmaker's book, A Mile Wide, and I'm really excited about that.
Me too. A Mile Wide. That's, I'm excited.
Are you on that launch team too?
Yes. We're both on the launch team. High five.
Yeah. I know, right?
I'm excited to get that. Did you get that already?
I
maybe
we shouldn't talk about it. I got some sample chapters.
Yes,
I don't think I've gotten anything else, but I'd have to look at the page.
Yeah, we're so excited. Yeah, and maybe that might be we'll see if it's out by the time we release this. But yeah, that's on my reading list too.
Yes.
I'm excited.
I did read The End of the World by Amy Mateo when I was on her launch team, and it was really good Christian fiction.
The End of the World.
Mm-hmm. Or I think it might just be End of the World. I can't
End of
remember
the World.
if there's a, I think it's just End of the World. I don't think there's a "the," but I'd have to look.
Yeah. We'll check it out. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
And it's been so fun getting to know you and chatting more and in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than just online. But it's I'm so excited to see what happens with your business and watching you grow. And everyone needs to go and like your Etsy page and follow you. And
thank you.
I can't wait to see that slate blue that you were talking about.
Too. Yeah, me too.
Well, thanks, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Wasn't Megan great? I really enjoyed getting to know her more. She is a fascinating lady. Thanks so much for joining me today. All the notes about what we talked about will be in the show notes at CorrineSandifer.com. Thank you so much for those of you who have already subscribed to this podcast. I really, really appreciate you. And please tell your friends about it. Go to iTunes and leave me a comment. You can also find me on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram under Corrine Sandifer. Next week, I hope to have a very special Mother's Day show. So, talk to you later. Bye.